Tired of constantly downloading new ISO images for each Kali Linux release? Well, no judgment. Let's unravel the right way of upgrading. Buckle up. Hello, cyber enthusiasts. I'm thrilled to have you back for another cyber awesome episode on my channel. In this video, we'll not only cover upgrading, but also delve into some insights on how to back up your files in Kali Linux, especially for those with a physical installation or non-virtualized environment. Let's jump right in. We all know Kali Linux to be one of the best tools to secure, hack, and create in the world of cybersecurity, right? Here, I have an older version of Kali Linux in a VirtualBox environment. Our goal is to upgrade and explore the new improved features available in the latest release. We'll do this through a method provided by Kali just right here in their official website, avoiding the need to download a new ISO file or stick with an older version. This method is actually suitable for both virtualized and non-virtualized setups. To begin, let's open our terminal right here on the desktop and run a simple command cat/etc/os release. This is to reveal the current release of the Kali rolling branch, which in this case it is 2021.1 version. For more in-depth information about what Kali rolling branch is and other details, you can always refer to the official documentation. Or, if you prefer a shortcut, I've included direct links to the relevant pages in the video description below. However, before we delve into the actual upgrading process, there are some precautions we need to take. First off, just in case anything happens during the upgrade, because we're dealing with the whole system and kernel packages, it's better to make some smart moves, even though Kali makes sure repositories don't conflict. There's no absolute guarantee the system won't break during the upgrade. So, let's start by taking a snapshot of our VirtualBox machine to save the current system configuration state. Just head to the machine menu, right here on the top left and on the drop-down. Select to take snapshot of virtual machine. You can proceed to give it any name and maybe a description, and when done, click OK. Now we can revert back to this state in case of any system failure ahead. But we don't stop there. Before we take the next step, keep in mind that these backup steps are crucial. If you're confident you don't need backups, feel free to skip ahead to the next chapters of the upgrading process. Now let's get practical. We also need to secure a backup of our external packages to avoid any data loss. This could include important hacking tools, scripts, documents, or even media files if you happen to have them. The most straightforward approach is to do this manually, either by copying your files to an external USB hard drive or USB stick, or syncing your data with cloud services like Google Drive, Dropbox, or OneDrive. Let's try out the copying anyway. First, you need to attach your connected external USB device to the virtual machine. Head over to Devices menu, select USB, and attach your device from the list, just like that. Note that this was possible because I actually enabled the USB controller and the interface before starting my machine. You can do this from the VirtualBox startup home screen if you can't see these options, just right here. Navigate to Settings, then USB, and enable both USB controller and the interface. After booting your machine and returning to the Devices menu, you'll see your device listed. Simply select it to make it available to your virtual machine. Now let's proceed to mount the device. Type lsblk. Hit Enter to identify the device name in partitions. You'll notice that it currently has no mount point assigned. Let's create it. Typically, you'd mount it using the mount command, specifying the device name and mount point directory if your storage device is in a Linux format of ext4. However, if your storage device is in a Windows format like NTFS or FAT, you'll want to use the NTFS 3G package, which you can simply add with the apt install command. For other Linux-based file systems like BTRFS or ZFS, the method might be different, and you should consult the respective documentation for mounting instructions. Before we proceed with the mount, we need to create a mount point directory. To do this, switch to root with sudo su, since most of the operations will require root privileges. Then create a mount point directory inside the Kali Linux file system. You can use the mnt or media directory, or create your own empty directory. I will create mine in the mnt directory with the command mkdir/mnt/backup device. Replace a backup device with your own name. Now we're ready to mount the device. First, let me type lsblk again to get the device name. And since my device is in a Windows format, I will proceed with Mount-T NTFS3G /dev /device name /mnt /backup device. Hit enter, and there it is. When I type lsblk, you'll see it's mounted, or you can type mount pipe grep device name. And in case you're wondering how to check your device's format, when you type fdisk-l /dev /device name, hit enter, you can see it under type, just right here. Also, /dev is the device directory for the Kali Linux file system. With your external device mounted, you can now copy your important files to it. Remember, snapshots primarily work for system files, so manually backing up your data is crucial to avoid data loss, more so when your system fails to boot again. So right here I have a text file that says, upgraded from 2021 to 2023. By the way, don't forget to subscribe if you're just joining the squad. To copy it, I will simply type cp filename /mnt /backup device, hit enter, and it's done. When we navigate to the Mountpoint by going to home directory of Kali Linux file system, changing to our mount directory in Mountpoint, and list the files in the Mountpoint with ls, you'll be able to confirm the file is indeed safe now. You can proceed with this for any files or directories that you think are really important. Also note that this is the basic solution to back up your data. But if you prefer an automated solution, you might consider using tools like Backintime, which we can see in another video. Speaking of time, we are not yet done. Let's explore how to create snapshots using Timeshift, especially for those with non-virtualized setups, although it works for virtual machines too. Timeshift is a powerful tool that takes snapshots of your system, capturing its current state. It offers both a command line interface and a graphical user interface for ease of use. There are different ways to install Timeshift. The first method involves adding a Timeshift repository and then installing it. First, install the Software Properties Common package with sudo apt install software properties common. This package provides the add apt repository command. Next, add the Timeshift repository with sudo add apt repository ppa tg2008 /timeshift, followed by sudo apt update. Finally, install Timeshift with sudo apt install Timeshift. Please note that this is the older method and may have compatibility issues with some systems. The second method is simpler. You can install Timeshift directly with sudo apt install Timeshift after running sudo apt update. There's also another method involving building Timeshift from its source code using the following commands. Feel free to choose the method that suits your needs, and remember to refer to the documentation for further details. Links to all the necessary commands and documentation can be found in the video description below. Once installed, open Timeshift through the Applications menu. Search for Timeshift and open it. It will prompt you for authentication by entering your password. And yes, using the graphical interface is way better. Once you enter your password, hit Enter. When you open Timeshift for the first time, it will launch a wizard to guide you through the initial setup. So, I will go ahead and open the wizard. This is where you can start creating your snapshots. It is done in two modes. Either by using the rsync mode, which uses rsync or remote sync and hard links to take snapshots, or by using the BTRFS mode, which is only supported on BTRFS systems. BTRFS is a copy-on-write file system that allows data modification and snapshot creation. If your system is installed in BTRFS format, please use the BTRFS mode. My machine doesn't have BTRFS option, so I will proceed with rsync. Which is even better, by the way, though it has downsides as well. And down here, there's a little help option in case you want to understand it in depth. I will click Next, and this is where you can select the storage location for your snapshot. It is recommended to use an external storage device formatted in a Linux format and without encryption. Encryption on the external device may affect compatibility with Timeshift for restoring a failed system. However, in my case, my device is in a Windows format, and I won't format it. And for your case, please make sure you use an external storage device. It has a lot of advantages we are about to discover. So just for the case of illustration, I will select my internal storage device. Click Next. And here you can select different snapshot levels you want your system to capture and the number of snapshots to keep at each level. Could be monthly. Or if you want frequent backups, you can choose hourly or also just capture snapshots each time your system boots or any other according to your storage and needs. It's up to you. I will select Daily and click Next. At this point, you can choose what files to include and exclude. But since Timeshift is meant for backing up or creating a restore point for just your system and configuration files, by default, the user directories are excluded. That's why it's crucial to back up your personal files, as we did earlier. Because when you add them in Timeshift, it might lead to some system instabilities and failures, then you end up losing your data. So, it's essential to have a clear understanding of your backup strategy. This is so important more so when it comes to restoration. You can choose to include hidden files in the home directory, typically configuration files, or you can also include the entire root folder, although might not be recommended. And since I have less storage, I'll stick with the default setting and click Next. Here you'll find more information before creating your snapshot. You can see this one actually says you can do a cross-distribution restoration. So once again, it's highly recommended to use external storage device. I guess you're discovering the advantages now. Click Finish. Finally, you can click on the Create button to initiate the snapshot creation process. This may take some time to synchronize your files, depending on your configuration. I will cancel that since I already have snapshots and limited storage. I won't create a new one right now. Let me even delete one of the snapshots. To free up some space, you can always change the settings of your snapshots when you select Settings button. Then, you can change the location for your snapshot storage or reconfigure any other settings and also add more files from Filter or add folders. The rest is for you to explore. Okay? After making sure your snapshot is created, you can safely unmount your device with the command U. Mount/mount directory /Mountpoint. When it comes to restoration in case of a revert back and you were able to boot successfully, mount your device again following the earlier procedures on any system with Timeshift installed. It could be on a different system too. Snapshots are stored in the Timeshift directory. Next thing you do is to select the snapshot you want to restore after opening Timeshift. Then, Restore button. You can change some settings here to specify your restoration device. After that, hit Next. It won't take much time to rebuild your system. And I guess that's the advantage of rsync. As it runs, at occasions where you can't boot into your system, Timeshift is the lifesaver. You can always restore your system by installing Timeshift on a live system, could be on a live USB or CD. Alright, here you'll just click Next to confirm actions. You will get an extra warning, just make sure all open applications are closed. Select Next. And the restoration process or restore process will begin. It takes a minute or two for your machine to reboot. It all depends on your configurations, and you shouldn't interrupt it. Proceed to enter your login credentials to log in. And we're back. The system was successfully restored. And the network configurations are intact too. When I try to check the device status, all is just perfect. Though at some cases more so, when you add hidden files, you might need to reconfigure your network services, or you can shut down your machine and log in again. That's all about Timeshift. Back to our main point of upgrading. First, we need to ensure that the sources.list file matches the current one on the website. The sources.list file guides the package manager to the correct destinations to fetch the repositories, making it a vital system configuration file located in the etc directory. You can check it with the command cat/etc/apte/sources.list, then hit Enter. If it matches the one on the website, great, you can proceed to the next steps. However, if it's different, as in our case, it's actually different, so we need to modify it. If it's the same in your case, just proceed to the next steps. I will copy this from the website, then return to the terminal. Open the sources.list with gedit, and since it's a system file, it needs sudo privileges. I will type sudo gedit/etc/apt/sources.list. Hit Enter. Enter password, and hit Enter again. You can use Nano or any text editor of your choice. I'll paste the content and ensure its accuracy. Then save and close the file. Be extremely cautious when editing this critical file. You wouldn't want to make a mistake without a backup. But since I've made changes to the sources.list file, it's a good practice to enable the Kali rolling branch first. I will do that with this command. And when we check again with the cat command, you'll notice it has overwritten our sources.list file, so we should make sure it matches the current one on the website. I will go ahead and edit it again with gedit before we proceed to updating. After making sure everything is good, I will save and close it. When we check again with cat, everything should match. Adding non-free firmware at the end enables the compatibility of hardware and drivers. For example, when it comes to the installation of drivers for hardware components like Wi-Fi adapters that need proprietary software. Also, the Debian line is used for source code repositories. You should modify it only if you need to make changes to a package's source code. Typically, it's left disabled in the default configuration. Now let's update the list of available packages and their information. To do this, simply run the command sudo apt update -y. Hit enter, and you'll be prompted to enter password. After that, press enter again. This command fetches the latest package information from the repositories. The process takes a shorter time, depending on your internet speed. No need to fret. And by the way, regular updates and upgrades are essential practices. We discussed this in detail in our previous video. What to do after installing Kali Linux? If you haven't seen it yet, feel free to check it out. Once the update is complete, we are ready to perform a full upgrade. I will simply clear the terminal and use the command sudo apt full upgrade -y and press enter. Let's also clarify something important about this upgrade process. The upgrade command alone doesn't handle major system changes. However, running it before full upgrade can help ensure a smoother process, going step by step. While we could also use the dist upgrade command, let's stick with the recommended method from Kali developers. This upgrade process will indeed take some time, as it involves updating the entire kernel and may remove packages that aren't available in the latest version. The duration varies based on your internet speed and system performance, so be prepared for it to take a while. You'll also notice changes to your desktop during the process. So, I'll pause the video for a moment and be right back.
2,000 years later.
Welcome back. The upgrading process can sometimes take a while due to various issues and errors that might occur. If you encountered any problems during the upgrade, don't worry. I'll address some common issues shortly. Now, let's continue with the next step. I will clear the terminal, then proceed with the command sudo apt autoremove -y. Press enter. Enter password and press enter again. This command will remove any unnecessary packages from your system, cleaning it up for the new release. Next thing is to reboot. You have a couple of options. You can do it the graphical way, use the reboot command, or shut down your system and then log in again. Choose the method that suits you best. Once you're back at the login screen, enter your login credentials. If your password is still set to Kali, I recommend changing it for security reasons. After successfully logging in, let's confirm whether the upgrade was successful. Open the terminal and run the following command again. cat/etc/os release, press enter. There it is. You've successfully upgraded to the latest release, which in my case is 2023.3. The specific version may vary for you. You can now take some time to explore the new features and tools available in this upgraded release. Now let's address some common errors that you might encounter during the upgrade process and provide solutions for them. One frequent issue is insufficient disk space. To ensure a smooth upgrade, it's recommended to have at least 40 GB of free space on your system. If space is lacking, you might face difficulties completing the upgrade. A poor internet connection can lead to interruptions during the upgrade. Make sure you have a stable connection to avoid any disruptions. If your connection is unreliable, consider upgrading when you have a better one. Sometimes broken package dependencies can cause errors, especially when dealing with the entire kernel. This can lead to issues like the subprocess error. In my first attempt, I encountered this issue, which prevented me from installing additional packages or performing a full upgrade. To resolve this, you can start by copying the error code and searching for possible solutions online. Alternatively, seek help from the Kali Linux community. In my case, I tried various approaches until I solved the issue by overwriting the problematic package causing the error, reinstalled it, and successfully completed a full upgrade. If your system crashes during the upgrade or something goes wrong, or if you've experimented with different Linux distributions but want to return to Kali Linux, which is a great choice by the way, You can revert to a previous state using the backups and snapshots we secured earlier. In case everything fails, or you wish to install a specific release, Kali Linux maintains an archive of all ISO files for each release. You can download and install a compatible version at any time. The necessary links for all the resources mentioned in this video are listed in the video description. As we conclude, there's much more to explore with Kali Linux in our upcoming videos and series. Please feel free to let me know which topics or areas you'd like us to delve into next. And that's a wrap. All right, there you have it. Thanks for joining me on this cyber awesome journey. If this ignited your curiosity to secure, hack, and create the world of cybersecurity and ethical hacking, once again, make sure to give that like button a solid tap, subscribe, and of course, activate the notification bell. And remember, this is a two-way street. If you've got questions, thoughts, or ideas, I'm all ears in the comment section below. Until next time, see you in the next video.